JK Papers reported its earnings this time around, and after a set of numbers being reported, we are seeing a bit of a cut coming in onto the stock price. Let's understand from the management itself what is the outlook going ahead and how do they see the industry trend shaping up. Onto the show we have AS Mehta, who is the President and Director at JK Papers Limited. Hi, very good morning, Mr. Mehta, and thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Well, firstly, onto the show, let's talk about your realizations. There has been a good jump in this particular time that we have seen, but will realization growth sustain in the first half of FY24, as well as just want your take on the pricing that is seeing in the domestic market as well as the international markets?
See, some product categories, the NSR, it has started coming down. It has already happened in case of the coated paper as well as the packaging board. And I would say that the packaging board, the prices have come to a level which is not a sustainable level. So in fact, there must be some upward revision in the price of the packaging board, or in a very short term, I think the price level should be maintained. There would be no further drop. Maybe after 2-3 months, when the demand picks up, there should be a upward revision in the packaging board prices. As far as the coated paper is concerned, the prices have dropped in Q4 of the last fiscal year, and I won't say that there would be any significant drop or a major drop in the coated paper prices anymore. There may be some correction again, but it's not, very substantial. As far as the other uncoated paper, whether the office paper or printing paper, that's concerned, the demand has been strong, and there was no price drop as far as we are concerned. Yes, there was some minor correction by some mills, but we have not seen any price drop for this category. Going forward, I would say that this category may see some downward revision based on the global trend, because global pulp and paper prices have dropped. The pulp prices have already touched somewhere around $500 a ton, which last year it was hovering around $750 to $800 a ton. So that will also impact the printing paper and office paper prices in the Indian market. But since the demand is strong, robust, and there is no surplus capacity available in the country and no capacity is in pipeline, so I would say that the prices would remain more or less at that level, but maybe a minor correction in time to come.
Vinny joining in the conversation as well. I just want to talk about one thing is your packaging segment. How has that been performing? It had been performing well previously. What is the current scenario now? How is the capacity over there? And what is your client growth over there? What's the guidance that you could give us in terms of the packaging segment for FY24?
The packaging segment, as you rightly said, that the last year was a good year, but the Q4, we have seen some drop in the demand. And when there is a drop in demand, naturally there is a downward revision in the prices as well, because there is a fight in the market to capture the market. So there was some price drop. I would say that packaging board year as a whole, 23-24, I see a kind of a 9 to 10% growth in the year 23-24. And since there is no additional capacity which is likely to come, because our machine was the last machine last year we commissioned, so there won't be any major supply side the increase. So the existing capacity utilization of all the mills should further improve, and that should meet the market demand. And also maybe after 3-4 months there must be some price correction northward in the packaging board.
Mr. Mehta, there could be some price correction onto the upside where the demand is staying strong is what we are hearing from you. But let's talk about the margins. There has been a sharp decline when it comes to the YOY comparison. And as well as for FY23, if I see, there has been the highest margin being reported by the company in more than a decade now. So do you see the margins peaking right now, or going ahead you expect the momentum and the growth in the margins to continue?
See, the margin drop in Q4, what you have seen is predominantly because of the packaging board, where the demand was lower, and also the price drop happened, and also our the pulp prices were higher. Higher in the sense we imported the pulp, mechanical pulp for our packaging board at a higher prices of something around $900 a ton, and now the prices have come down. So hopefully next quarter, I mean, we have all started receiving the cheaper pulp for our packaging board. In fact, the prices have come down at a level of $600 a ton. And maybe next quarter, we would see further drop, maybe $500 or $550 a ton mechanical pulp. So once we have a cheaper pulp and price level maintaining at this point, and maybe minor correction plus upward, and also the demand picking up, I would say that the improvement in the margin for packaging board should happen. But at the same time, the writing and printing paper, it may not be maintained. So I would say that also it will depend on what kind of energy prices will remain. Some other input costs have certainly softened, the chemicals and some other commodities. So, I mean, the margin is going to be very, I would say that it's very volatile. So, I don't want to give any advice what kind of a margin is going to be in the next fiscal year.
Okay, Mr. Mehta, one point which I want to talk about is in terms of, the demand. Normally, Q4 is that seasonally strong quarter which comes in for the company. Do you think the demand is flattening now? What should we be expecting in terms of that? And, if you could just give us a market share guidance with that as well for FY24, what is it looking like?
See, as I said, that the office paper and the printing paper, the demand is going to be healthy. And I would certainly expect some kind of a 3 to 4% increase in the demand, or a growth, you can say. And the packaging board, I expect that there should be a growth of 9 to 10%. So overall, paper industry, I am seeing a growth of something around 6 to 7% again in 23-24 as well.
Okay, Mr. Mehta, we'll let you go on that. Thank you so much for joining us today
Thank
on
you.
ET Now and helping with the take onto the growth outlook ahead. So that was the management of JK Papers, expecting the margins to be quite volatile going ahead, but the demand still remains strong. But with